Hey everyone, I think I am live. Um, okay, so welcome. So today I want to share with you, going to add a sixth one at the end that I just came up with as I was getting ready to go live, based on a conversation I had with someone yesterday. But essentially, these are the five assumptions that coaches, healers, practitioners, soulful entrepreneurs make that keep them stuck, keep them small, hold them back. And they're the kind of assumptions that are running in the background as limiting beliefs and essentially will keep you from enrolling as many clients as you can. Obviously, we're here to have a strong impact on the world. So it's super important for us to know where we get stuck and what to do instead. So not only will I give you these five assumptions, but I'm also going to share with you exactly what to do instead. Um, these five assumptions are really going to sabotage the ease and the speed at which you can grow your business, which is a problem when we have something important to share with the world. It's something that I've seen in myself. I have had all of these assumptions I am going to tell you today. And it's something I've seen over and over in colleagues, in friends, and in my clients. So they're pretty common. And the only thing I say to you is look, see if you have those in you and see how you can shift your perspective and start doing something different to really exponentially increase your ability to bring in new clients and to serve the world. Um, so for those of you who don't know me, let me introduce myself. My name is Ilsa. I'm a dog mama, a psychotherapist, a tea junkie. I've been in private practice almost 20 years, helping um, highly conscious, growth-oriented service providers grow their business and get past their own blocks and their own visibility. I'm the founder of the Sovereign Entrepreneur Academy, where I help my clients go from best kept secret to well known, well paid experts, and to fill essentially to fill their practices, their programs, their retreats by following my client overflow formula and by learning to shift from limited left brain thinking to right brain genius. I help them do essentially grow their business without stressing, without guessing, without overwhelm, no draining launches, no complicated sales funnels, no wasting the day away on social media. It's a real simple mix of strategy and energy to actually get the job done. So, welcome. Let me know what you do in the world. Like, how do you serve people? I'd love to know. So I've got two gifts for you. The first one is I created a cheat sheet to go with this training. And this is essentially for you guys who are visual, like to read things, like to have it in front of you. So this cheat sheet includes all of the assumptions and exactly what to do instead, what the fix is. And this way you can go back to it as often as you want. If you want that, just put cheat sheet or worksheet in the comment and I will send it to you. And then the second gift I have for you is an invite for you and I to chat and brainstorm together how to successfully live your purpose and share your gifts with more ease. So if in your soul, in your gut, in your heart, you know that you're done being overlooked, you know that you're done hiding in plain sight, that you have so much more to give and that it should be easier, that growing your business should be easier and more enjoyable than it is, that it should be simpler, then I want to say to you, you're absolutely right. And I want to chat. Let's chat and figure out how we can accomplish that together. This is an hour free with me. And we just get to partner together, and I'll give you a few tips of what to focus on next to essentially start expanding yourself and expanding your results in the world. Say hi to me. Let me know where you're watching this from, including if you're watching the replay. Just put hashtag replay. I love to know. All right, let's get started. Assumption number one. This is super common. So if you've watched me in the past, you've heard me say this. content does not create clients, at least not the way it used to, especially since COVID. Everybody is bombarded. The way to grow your business right now is to really make some intimate connections with people and to build that relationship. So the first assumption I hear a lot that honestly, especially in this day and age, especially in this market, is going to really hold you back in terms of your growth and the amount of impact you can have in the world is this: I don't want to reach out to people and disturb them. I hear this all the time. We have a discomfort, especially if you're a soulful, introverted entrepreneur. You do not want to breach boundaries with people. And I totally get that. I am that way. I feel that way as well. But the assumption we make is that a friendly reach out to tell someone how you appreciated their insightful comment or their insightful post, or a friendly reach out to let somebody know, like, hey, I've got this event or this new training or this new freebie, is imposing on people, is disturbing them. You want to let go of that. You want to start seeing you connecting with people as nurturing them, as building friendly connections, and as serving them. So when you reach out to someone and you say, oh my God, I loved that post you made on XYZ, that's not disturbing them. That's letting them know that they're seen and appreciated. When you reach out to someone in Messenger and you say, thank you so much for your comment on my post, I so appreciate the support. That's not disturbing them. That's making a connection. When you reach out to someone and you say, hey, I've got this free masterclass, this free workshop, or I've got this training, I'm going live doing this thing. I don't know if this is for you, but if this is, I want you to know. That's not disturbing them. That's serving them. So the fix is take every opportunity you have to move away from just Facebook, from it's so busy on Facebook, it's so busy on Instagram. Like even if you're putting attention and putting comments on people's posts, you're one person out of 10 or 15. Even if you're creating amazing content, honestly, like they're seeing hundreds of pieces of content go through their feed. They might not even see your piece of content. So as much as you can, move away from Facebook and start reaching out in Messenger in a friendly manner. You're not trying to sell anything. You're just trying to say hi and let the other person know that you care about them, that you see them, that they matter, and let them know when you have something really special happening in case it is for them, or in case they know someone who would be a good fit for that. Success in business is all about building relationships. So make sure that you make that a priority in your business growth, or you'll get in your way, you'll sabotage. So that's assumption one. Assumption one is this idea that you're disturbing people when you reach out to them or you send a friendly message. Let go of that. You're not imposing, you're not disturbing. Do it. Assumption two, and keep in mind that if you are disturbing one or two people, they're not your ideal client, but all the people who will receive what you share and are happy to hear from you, they're potentially your ideal client. So you do it for the few that matter and that are going to want to work with you and need you. Assumption number two, and this is a big one that I hear all the time: I don't have any ideal clients here. There are no ideal clients here. So whatever here could be at this event, in this group, in this program, on my email list, in my Facebook group, on my personal page. The assumption that wherever you are, none of your clients are here is going to hold you back tremendously, because your clients are everywhere. They're all around you. They're not hiding somewhere special. I guarantee you that every event you go to, there's somebody in there that is a potential client for you, or absolutely knows someone who is an ideal client for you. On your personal page, in your friend list, there are multiple people in there, even if you have a small list, that are potential clients. And I guarantee you also that all these people know someone who would be an ideal client for you. This idea that there's no one here that is my ideal client is going to keep you playing small. It's going to keep you holding back. It's going to keep you silent and not sharing boldly what you do. And when you do that, obviously, and you're hiding, you're doing yourself a disfavor as a business owner, but you're also doing a disfavor to everybody who you could actually be serving because they don't know that you're there. It took me forever to go live on my personal profile and to start sharing what I did on my personal profile. And when I finally did do that, I received a bunch of messages of people saying, oh, wow, I had absolutely no idea that you were doing this. I had absolutely no idea. I totally need you, or I wish I had known I was exactly in that place a year ago. But I had been holding back, not wanting to disturb people with my business on my personal profile, and no one knew exactly what I did. To give you a little story, someone I follow, Chris Kenny, he is an amazing sales specialist. And he talks about going almost to every event, whether it's a mastermind, whether it's a program he joins, whether it's a networking event, whether he's on vacation and hanging out around the pool, or when he goes on a trip and he's in the plane. He has this idea, this belief that my clients are everywhere. And he literally tells his mind, or gives his mind the job to look for clients. And he will share openly that he has met clients on planes sitting right next to them. But because he assumed that they could be a client, he's bold in sharing what he does. He has met clients around a pool, at a hotel, on vacation. He has met clients in all sorts of networking events, all sorts of like lunches with friends where somebody in there ends up being a new client or knows someone. So it is a paradigm shift to believe that your clients are everywhere and to start showing up in your life, in your business, as if that is true. So that's the fix. Show up everywhere you go and hang out, online and offline, and start assuming that there's somebody around you that either is your client or knows someone who is an absolute right client for you. And use any opportunity to share what you do, to be of support, to serve, and if it feels appropriate, to make an invitation. Assumption number 3 is this idea of like, oh, I know this person, there's no way they can afford my services. So deciding ahead of time, or in the first few minutes of a sales call, that somebody can't afford you. Because of this assumption, when you make this assumption, you're going to either not make an invitation, you're going to not show up as your best on the call, you're going to not get on the call or cancel the call or get, end the call as quickly as possible. And you're not going to nurture that relationship. So here's the fix. First, don't judge a book by its cover. You actually never know where people stand and where they're at. The other is keep in mind that if there's a will, there's a way. I know a ton of people, including clients of mine and clients of clients, who had at first glance no way of affording my services or their services, but figured it out. They borrowed money from family members. They sold something in their home that they weren't using. They got a brand new credit card with no interest rates. They figured out how to afford the service because they valued it so much. So the fix is you want to stay out of people's bank accounts, of people's pocketbooks. You want to honor their sovereignty and their ability to figure out how to pay for your services if they really want it. And you want to treat everyone as if they're your next client. Give it your best, both as a human and as a practitioner, to every client who enters or every person who enters your space, regardless of their circumstance. Because even if they're a no right now and they can't afford you, they might be a yes later. People's circumstances change all the time. The first impression you make and how you treat someone on the get-go is what will stay with them. As practitioners, we are here to essentially bring our clients into the space of infinite possibilities and to help them discover what is possible and achieve what is possible for them. You literally have to do that now. Like, you get on a call with someone and it doesn't look like they're going to be able to afford it. Step into infinite possibilities. You never know what's possible. And when you do that, when you step into infinite possibilities and you meet them from that place, then you're bringing them with you to step into infinite possibilities. That's when expansion happens. That's when creativity happens. That's when I've been in that place as a client where I wanted to join a program, but I couldn't afford it. And then, like, because the person held so much space for me and was so generous, I was like, okay, I'm going to really think about it. There might be a way. And then my mind started playing around and I found money that I had forgotten. And I opened another credit card and figured it out, and I was able to join that program. So hold infinite possibility for your clients. When you do that, what was possible becomes inevitable. Assumption 4. Assumption 4 is the assumption that if they say no for whatever reason, they're always going to be a no. And if by some chance they change their mind, they will reach back out to you. When you have this assumption, what happens is you drop people. So if somebody says no, you don't want to be pushy, you don't like feeling rejected, so you just back off. You back off of them completely. Now, I'm not saying be pushy and annoying, but if somebody says no now, they might be a yes in 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now. There's been plenty of time where I've said no and then joined a program later because I've stayed into contact with that person. So the fortune is always in the follow-up. Our job as practitioners, as leaders, is to build that relationship, is to not assume that this person will never be a client, especially if we feel like they're a right fit. To not assume that this person is not going to be a client, and to not assume that if they change their mind, they will find us. Because this is what's going to happen. When that person becomes ready to invest, they will usually invest with the person who's most present in their field in that moment. If they had a call with you a year ago or 6 months ago and they haven't heard from you, more than likely they haven't seen your content for a while because Facebook's now not showing it to them. They remember you, but they've kind of forgotten you. Now they're watching somebody else's content, somebody else is chatting with them. That's the person they're going to go with. Even if it might not be the right person for them, it's the person that's here in that moment. You want to be top of mind, and you want to make sure that people, especially people you feel are a right fit, that you stay in contact and in conversations with them so that when they are ready, you're right there and you've been right there all along. So when somebody is a no, keep following up with them, keep checking in on them, keep inviting them to events you're putting together. Make ongoing soft invitations. Let them know that you're still here and you still want to work with them so that when they become ready, you're the first person they think of. I have something that I teach my clients. I call it a love list. Essentially, you want to have a list of all the people that you think is either great collaborators, great potential clients, or referral source. When you have a call with someone you feel like they would be a good client, even if they're a no right now, put them on your list. Just because they're a no right now does not mean they're a no for forever. And just stay in contact and keep following up. That's your fix. Assumption number 5. Assumption number 5 is a little more subtle, but if a client says yes on the call and they haven't paid yet, we take that at face value. And I see that a lot because we as soulful entrepreneurs are in absolute integrity. When we're a yes, we're a yes. we kind of assume that if somebody says yes to us on a call, even if they haven't made the payment, it's a done deal. That is an assumption that's going to cost you a lot of clients, because what happens is when they say yes to you in that moment, they are a yes. They're not lying to you. They're an absolute yes. And then they do what we all do. They start thinking. They start overthinking things. They start getting worried. But what if it doesn't work? What if I don't do the work? What if it doesn't work for me? And they talk themselves out of it. Your job as a practitioner to help them not sabotage themselves, essentially, is to find a way to anchor that yes. There's a few ways you can anchor that yes. One is to do, like, if you can get them to pay on the call, great. Take payment. Don't wait. And I know a lot of us who are solo entrepreneurs are not comfortable with money. That's okay. This is part of our work in terms of serving, is take the money from the client, make it easier for them, make it a done deal. If you can't take a whole payment because they're not ready, they need to figure some stuff out, you could take a small deposit. The other thing you could do, and here's a couple things. The next one is something I really like, is even if they haven't paid yet, but you have, for example, a first call, like an initial kickoff call or something like that, that you do with them one-on-one. Book it. Put it on your schedule on that call before they even pay. That is a way to say, hey, we're starting, we're a done deal, anchoring that they're a yes. They've already made they've already made that first appointment. The other thing you could do is you can send them a letter or some kind of email welcoming them and letting them know everything they're going to get in there and what you're going to work on together. Again, anything that's going to allow them to anchor the yes and to feel more confident and more comfortable when their mind starts rolling. Or you can do a combination of these that I just gave you. But essentially, try to find a way to finalize or anchor the yes for your client so that they don't sabotage. And now I'm going to give you my bonus 6 assumption. And this came from a conversation I had with somebody yesterday. At the end of any call, any event, do not make the assumption that if somebody wants to work with you, they will raise their hand or ask you how to work with you. That is, by the way, something I did. I was very uncomfortable about being pushy. I didn't want to be pushy. I didn't want to put people in a corner. And so I would do this amazing call with people, give them a ton of value. And then I figured if they wanted to work with me, they would say, okay, well, what now? I would love to keep working with you. How do we do that? And that happened. Some clients who feel really empowered, who are extroverted, will go ahead and take the lead and say, hey, I want to continue working together. How do we do that? For clients who are more sensitive, who are more introverted, they need an invitation. I'm going to tell you a story. So this is a few years ago, but I had this great call with this person. And I kind of ended the call. I was like, okay, well, it was lovely speaking with you. I'll stay in touch with you. Let's stay in touch. And I was kind of hoping she would say, well, could we do another session, or what would working together look like? And she didn't. So I didn't push it. I just let it go. And then I reached out to her maybe a week later and just said, hey, I just want to check in. I really love speaking with you last week. And she answered something along and I said something to her like, do you have any questions, or how are you doing? And she answered something along the lines of, yeah, I love speaking with you as well. I am curious why you thought we weren't a good fit to work together. Or something like that. Like, that's what she meant. She might not have used these exact words. And I was floored. I was like, where did she get this from? And so I asked her, I said, I actually thought we would be a great fit to work together. What gave you the sense that I didn't think so? And she actually said to me, well, I assumed that if you thought we would be great to work together, you would ask me to be a client. You would ask me if I wanted to book another session, or you would ask me if I wanted to be your client in some ways. And that was a realization for me that I was actually putting all the work on my client to say something rather than actually leading and inviting them. And so this is my bonus 6 fix for you. I'm going to invite you to always make an invitation and to make it very clear and very tangible. That is true at the end of lives, that is true in posts, and that is definitely true on a call. If somebody takes the time to get on a call with you, you should assume they want to work with you, and you should make some kind of invitation at the end, even if it's a soft invitation. This doesn't have to be pushy, but it could be something like, hey, I think I could really help you. I would love to work with you some more. Is this something you're interested in hearing about? Is this something you're open to discussing with me? Something like that. Just let them know I'm a yes. And if you're a yes, I would love to work together. So that's what I have for you. The 6 assumptions. Let me go back through them real quick so you have them. But assumption 1 is you do not want to reach out to people and disturb them, and you feel like reaching out on Messenger is an imposition, it's rude, it's pushy, and so you hold back and you don't do that. Unfortunately, when that happens is you really do yourself a disservice and you do them a disservice because you're not sharing with them that you see them, that they matter. You're not sharing with them what you have available. And in this day and age, just putting content out there is not enough for people to really see you and know what's going on in your business, essentially. Assumption number 2 is I don't have any ideal clients around me. They're not in my friend list. They're not in the programs I joined. They're not in the networking events I go to. The shift here is my clients are everywhere. In every interaction, in every group I go in every program I enroll in every networking event I go to, even at dinner parties I go to, there is either a potential client or somebody who knows a potential client for me. And having that belief fully anchored so that your mind is always scanning for opportunities, and so that you are loud about what you do, you are able to serve, you are able to make invitations if appropriate in that moment. Assumption number 3 is I deciding upfront that this person can't afford you, some person. And so you don't invite them on a call, or if they're on a call with you, you don't do your best, or you get off the call early, or you don't make an invitation at the end because you don't want to put them in a corner and you know they can't afford it. Do not assume you know what's going on in people's pocketbook. A lot of people who don't look or don't seem or even say they can't afford it will find a way to afford it when it matters. I have been there. My clients have been there. I have been there as a practitioner, and I've been there as a client where I have thought that I could not afford something, but then decided I really wanted to and figured out how. Assumption 4, do not assume that if they are a no right now, they're always going to be a no. Make sure that you follow up and you keep building relationships with people. There's a lot of people who are going to be an automatic yes, and there's a lot of people who are going to need to be nurtured more to be a yes. And you want you to be top of mind for them so that when they're ready, you come up and you're able to work with them at that point. Assumption 5, if a client says yes on a call, make sure you anchor that yes. Do not assume until they have paid that they are a client. And actually assume that even if they say yes to you, until they have paid, they're going to sabotage. Their minds are going to run. And you want to essentially anchor that yes for them in some ways. Either get them to put down a deposit, book your first call with them, send them a welcome letter, letting them know how excited and everything you're going to work on together. Essentially make it possible for them that even when they hang up the call with you, even if they haven't paid, they still stay excited, and the entire thing is anchored in them, so that they don't sabotage it. And then my bonus 6 assumption is make sure you always make an invitation and you make it tangible and you make it clear. Do not assume that people will find you or will tell you if they want to work with you. There's a lot of people who need to be invited and will assume that if you're not making an invitation, you're either not taking on new clients right now or that you've decided they're not the right person for you, and they will not actually make that leap. So it's your job as a practitioner, as the leader, to invite people to work with you, to let them know how to work with you, to let them know you want to work with them. All right, that is what I have for you today. Just to remind you the 2 gifts I have for you. One gift is I have a worksheet to go with this training that explains all those 6. I'm going to add that 6th one on there and the exact fix, so that if you're a visual person or you want to be able to refer to it in the future, you have it. So if you want the worksheet, just put worksheet in the comment. The second invitation is I want to invite you to get on a call with me and brainstorm. It's you and I can sit down for an hour. It's totally free, and essentially create together your unique path to success in your business. This is a full hour of you and I partnering together to figure out what's getting in the way and exactly how I can help you attract the right clients and make your first or next 6-figure without you having to get burned out or sacrifice yourself, your joy, or your freedom. In this call, I'll look at your whole business, figure out what are some tweaks you can make right now to start expanding your reach, expanding your visibility, expanding the amount of clients you bring in, and we'll create a unique and aligned roadmap to a business that you love, that nourishes your soul, and also fills your bank account. If you'd like to essentially meet with me and figure out how to actualize your purpose without guessing, without stressing, then just put brainstorm in the comments, or there's going to be a link in the description, depending where you're watching this video. There's going to be a link in the description that you can click on, and it will take you to my calendar, and you can just book that call with me. All right, that is what I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope this was useful. Let me know if you do any of these assumptions and what was most useful for you today. Bye, guys.